In this Day 10 update to the Nokia Lumia 920 challenge, I'm answering your questions from Twitter and from Facebook. How's it going, guys? I'm Aaron Baker from PhoneDog.com. It's Day 10. Let's start with your questions. I'm on Day 10 with the Nokia Lumia 920 and build quality wise still enjoying the larger size, but I want to answer your questions in this video. So Day 10 is going to be kind of a recap of what you've asked me on Twitter and on Facebook to date, and I'm going to do my best to answer as many questions as possible. But before we start that, kind of a prelude here, had it for 10 days, been working with this device for 10 days, and overall I've been pretty pleased. I mean, it's a smartphone experience through and through. It has LTE connectivity, which is nice. I love the red, as I've said in previous videos. It's a head turner, and so people are kind of like, what phone is that? That's really red. That's really cool looking, or that's really weird in some cases. What color is that? What phone is that? And so it gives me the opportunity to talk about the Nokia Lumia 920, but it's AT&T's flagship Nokia device, and it's a nice big device. I will say it's big. It's bulky, don't get me wrong, but because of the curves, it's a little bit easier to fit in the hand, and that is that. So here it is. Colors have changed a little bit, but my home screens remain mostly the same. And I don't remember if I talked about this in Day 8 or not, but I've downloaded enough apps to where it's auto-populated here with the letters as opposed to having them all in one full list. So you can see I've downloaded a couple of new applications, but I want to talk really quickly about some of the questions you've asked me on Twitter and on Facebook. First question I got about this device, compare the app quality. And I talked about this a little bit in Day 8, but I'm going to talk about it in this one as well. Take a look at the American app, and I like to use this one as an example because it shows that, you know what, it's not all about Nokia. It's not even all about Microsoft. It's all about the developers and what they can do to get an ecosystem around this device. And I know I harp on ecosystems all the time, but take a look at American Airlines here, for example. This application not only has the old American logo, but it just looks a little bit bulky in comparison. As you can see here, tools, reservations, check flight status, and you can see it's not as robust as the iOS version or the Android version. If you fly American and you have a Windows Phone device and you've worked with Android or iOS, you know this from previous versions. Just not up to par, up to where it needs to be. And of course, Twitter as well, as you can see here, definitely an improvement from Windows Phone 7. This is one of the better Twitter applications that I've worked with on Windows Phone 8. It's pretty fluid for the most part, and you can swipe between home and of course your mentions, and then what's trending, and then your personal page here with direct messages, and then your profile and picture. But overall, still not as robust of an experience as on the Android side and on the iOS side. So again, it's all about that developer support, and that's something they've got to continue to get with this, especially with Instagram. I know they have Instagram and some other half-baked solutions, but they really need Instagram, the official Instagram over here, and some other high-profile applications like that. Now, Microsoft's working on that. They talked about it extensively last year at the Windows Phone 8 launch event in San Francisco, so it's definitely a work in progress, but still something they need to work on. So you've got my AT&T. Fortunately, you don't have a Uverse mobile application anymore to my knowledge because they did remove that last year, if I recall, but I'm going to double check the store just to make sure. Uverse, so little things like that, keep that in mind. Yeah, I couldn't find a match there for that. It was removed last year. Another question I get a lot is compare the 920 to the other flagship Windows Phone device on AT&T, the HTC 8X. And overall, the 8X is definitely a much smaller device, fits really well in the hand. From a design perspective, I really appreciate the 8X, and I like some of HTC's little touches, like HTC's weather widget, which I kind of baked into Windows Phone 8 with the HTC hub, I should say, hub and weather widget. Whereas over here, though, Nokia does a great job with the fact that they're hedging their bet on Windows Phone 8, and so they've got some great applications. Here, CityLens, here, Drive. Don't underestimate the power of these applications like CityLens, Drive, and Beta, because again, they're working on creating an ecosystem, and you see it all around, not just there, but in a bunch of places. In the store, for example, with the Nokia collection, with Here apps, all the different ones that come pre-installed on the device, with Nokia Cares on Windows Phone 8. So keep that in mind, some great applications all around. Other questions I get, does it get hot? Yes, it does get hot from time to time. I've talked about it in previous videos, but it's usually right above the camera and right here somewhere in between the 3.5mm headphone jack and then the camera on the back. Speaking of camera, I do get questions a lot on the 8-megapixel camera on this device. And I'm going to take a quick picture here just so you can see. You see the flash lit up. It's overall a good image. Don't get me wrong, pretty pleased with the image quality here. I don't notice it, I don't take pictures, I should say, and say, man, I really wish I had X device, maybe the Galaxy S4. That said, there is a noticeable difference to me between the Galaxy S4, the HTC One's images, and then the Lumia 920 images, though I will say this one does pretty well in low-lit situations. I was taking some pictures of the cat the other day and was pretty impressed with the low-light performance on this device. Also, and I talk about this in every video, but I do enjoy the fact you can go between the live images and then of course the still, and then you've got your lenses here, And you've got, of course, the ability to switch to front-facing camera and turn the flash on and off, and of course your photo settings just by going right there. So it's pretty easy to use, which is a nice value add here for somebody that's maybe new to smartphones or just jumping into Windows Phone 8 for the first time. Easy to use all around. And the last question for number 10, or day 10 review, I should say, is this one. I get a lot of questions, not just about the camera, but the overall quality of the phone. Do you like carrying it? What does it feel like in the hand? Is it too bulky? I got a bunch of questions on Twitter, which my Twitter handle is at phonedog_Aaron, about that. Overall, pretty easy to carry in the hand. It's definitely a meaty device. It's chunky in comparison to other devices on the market, and you feel it when you carry this device around. That said, overall, it's not too bad, and I've been relatively pleased with it. And as I talked about in day 8, really enjoying the People Hub down here where I can get all my notifications in one spot. Now if I could just get more people on Windows Phone 8 and utilize the group rooms, that'd be pretty cool as well. Overall, still impressed with the device. There's a lot of room for growth here with Windows Phone 8. Not necessarily Nokia's fault, a little bit Microsoft's fault, but really got to get that developer support behind Windows Phone 8 to make it a truly great platform. Keep it locked on PhoneDog.com for continuing coverage of the 30-day challenge with the Nokia Lumia 920. And as always, hit me on Twitter with your questions. PhoneDog_Aaron, Facebook, Facebook.com/HiAaronBaker, Google+, G+.to/PhoneDog. Thanks for watching. Much more to come in the coming days on the Lumia 920 as I continue through this 30-day challenge. I'll see you next time.